So in your estimating template in Division 3, because that's where concrete reinforcing goes, we'll build ourselves a little rebar calculator. So we'll call this rebar calculator. I'm just going to put this off to the side here in this location. Real simple. I'm going to call it footing mark or footing name. For the first column. Footing or pier. I think on your drawings for this project they call the piers pedestals, but it's the same thing. And we're going to say number of bars, length of bars, total bar length, weight per foot, alright, and then that will, and then we'll have weight. Why do you suppose that we're doing rebar the weight? Yeah, we're gonna buy it by the pound. A lot of times you get a price to tie it by the pound. In this case here, we'll also have a number of bars and a length of bars. So we'll have a lot of good information for really any way somebody's going to ask you to price it. These are headings, so maybe we want to bold these. You can underline, you know, whatever you want to do. That's the formatting after the fact. So I'm going to start with a we'll see if Excel's smart enough here. So I have F1, F2. Let's see if it can go. I think there's 7 on this project. So again, I'm using that quick copy command, and it's smart enough the way that I type this to recognize that. Does anybody? How many pier types are there? Or pedestal types in this project? Anybody on that page?
5. There's 5 footings and 5 pedestals.
Yes, that is accurate. Pier 1, Pier 2. Now if you type these exactly the same way, again, once you type the first 2, you can then highlight those over here and use the quick copy function when your cursor changes to that black addition symbol, and then you can see it counting off to the right hand side there, P5, then I'm done. So that'll work for this project, and you'll be able to customize this for every project. Is who's on that pier schedule? So how many bars are in footing F1?
8, number 6 each way at the bottom.
Yeah. So it says it's 8, number 6 each way bottom, and it is a 7 foot by 7 foot by 1 foot 6 footing. So we're going to, the bars won't be quite the whole length of that footing, but we will. Just for sake of making it simplistic here, it'll give us a little extra. So length of bar, feet, so 7. And there are how many? 8. And what bar number were they? Number 6. I'm going to insert a column here. Insert bar size. And these are number 6 bars. How much does number 6 bar weigh? So luckily we have the internet, which makes this really easy to find. So you can find a chart real quick here of reinforcing dimensions. I might even copy that image. This will be real slick here. And off to the side, just for reference later on, I'm going to paste this image right into my estimate template. Now keep in mind, we set our print areas in the previous lab. So this information we're putting off to the side isn't going to screw up the printing of your estimate. It's just there as a calculator to help you put this together. And you can put these together for plumbing and any other trade that you may need to on the side. So they were number 6 bars, number 6, and it gives you all the information about it. But our weight per foot here is 1.502. 1.502. So we've got to put a couple formulas in here. The first one is the total bar length, which is simply going to be equal to your number of bars multiplied by the length of each bar. That gives you your total length of 56. I'll put some units up here. Linear feet. You'll notice how every time my text runs off the menu, I double click. Remember that automatically expands the cell width to the size we need. And then for my rebar weight, I'm going to equal that to my total length multiplied by my weight per foot. And that's going to give me my rebar weight in pounds. So you can do one of two things at this point. We could add another column. I might make this one bold, just so that number stands out. We could make another column that has the number of F1 footings, but you're going to have that number in here anyways. So at this point here, what I would do, I'm just going to delete some of these fictitious prices we were using last time. So now if I had my F1 footing, so I would do my F1 footing, concrete, do all your concretes together, and then when you get to your reinforcing, F1 rebar, we can go in here and we can say that there are 5 each. So our unit here would be each. Rebar. We can go in here. So we have 5 rebar, or 5 F1 footings rather, times our F1 weight. Right, and we get our unit, which would be 420.56 pounds. Alternatively, you could go over here and create a column with the number of bars and get a total weight that way, but you have to put it in your Excel spreadsheet anyways. Does that make sense how I linked that? I knew there was 5 of them, and I never do math outside of the Excel and then type a number in. The reason that I type the formula in here is so that when somebody asks me the question, how many F1 footings do I have, I can click in there and I know that I have 5. Whereas your concrete, you're going to pull that number off Oasis takeoff, so you might just pull however many yards because you used a count condition. Does that make sense? So you would have here your F2 concrete and so on, and then down here, all your rebar. The reason that I grouped them this way, all the concrete's together, all the rebar's together, so you can do your concrete, footing, walls, piers, right? Same thing, rebar, footing rebar, wall rebar, pier rebar. The reason I do that is, let's say hypothetically we went through and let's use our calculator. What are the details for footing type F2? How big are they? Who's got that chart open? F2. Number 5's at 12 on center. How big's the footing?
The footing's 4 by 8.
Oh, that's a rectangular one? Okay. So that one might be a little more complicated to do quickly here. Is there one that's square?
F3 is 3.6 by 3.6.
Wonderful. What are the bars in that?
4, number 5.
Okay. 4. It's 3'6". So 3.5 is the length of each bar. Yeah, so the rebar really technically would not be 3.5, just like with the 7 here. I put it in there. You'd have to go back and research the drawings to see. Sometimes you'll get a schedule that tells you how long the bars are. But you're right, the bars would stop short of the edge of the concrete because you have to have something called cover, which is usually, I think the minimum for code is 2.5 inches. This will just give us a little extra. It's not always a terrible thing here. There's going to be some waste with buying the exact lengths anyways. You might have to cut some and work with it that way. So I dragged these formulas down. These are number 4 bars. Or what size bar were they? Number 5 bars. Number 5 bars. Right, so they have a different weight. So I can go over to my chart here. Look, and they're 1.043. 1.043 pounds per foot. And again, I can drag this formula down. So these have 14 pounds of rebar each. So let's say you had, in this you had, I don't know, 6 of these. You could say equals 6 times your weight. Which is this 14.6. And we were using an F3 for that, not the F2. F3 rebar. And that's pounds. So a really cool function of Excel is down here in the bottom right hand corner. When I highlight those 2 numbers, the 2 weights, if you go down to the bottom, you'll see the word, where's that format thing? When you see the word sum down here, and where I'm highlighting with the circle, and it says I have 508.172 pounds. So I can go here, and when I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 types of rebar, I highlight all of them, and I can look real quickly and see that I have the total poundage of the rebar itself. So I don't necessarily have to have a total. We can price it per each in our spreadsheet, and then if you are on the phone with a supplier or you just get a shipment in on the job site, you can pull the estimate, just highlight the numbers, look down here real quick, and know exactly how many pounds you're expecting. Down at the bottom. Does that make sense?